Good morning, Robertson County. This is 1100 WSG. I'm Utah LaVern, and yeah, this is one street over. What's happening, y'all? One street over from where you're living. We're living right and blessed and to live and work in Robertson County, as our Mayor Vogel says. We got a couple of things going on. I'm going to try to make a call real quick here, and I'm going to see if I can get Pamela Furr on the phone real fast. And we're going to say, oops, I got to turn this music off first, though. Pamela, if you're there, hang on a second. Pam, you there? Hello, Pam. Oh, we're going to try her. And I'll tell you what's going on here in just a second. Oh, come on, Pam, pick up. Hello. We're going to be talking with Pamela Furr and Omar Hamada this morning. And
hey, this is Pamela. I can't take your call right now, but if you will, leave your name.
Okay, we'll call her right back in just a second. But what we're trying to do is, I've got a couple of good friends. You know, I've got all these friends that I've been in contact with over the years. Pamela and I actually worked at the Blaze together for a while, and Omar and I met when I was originally on the campaign trail. Running for Congress. Well, maybe even before that. I can't remember. I think we hosted an event together for the Republican Party. But Omar is just like a rock star when it comes to the things he's done and the life he's lived. I mean, soldier and surgeon. I was going to have Omar on first. And I messaged him. I said, hey, I'm going to call you about 7:05. And he goes, give me 10 minutes. I just got out of the OR. So he's an emergency room doctor, and he's a concierge doctor and all kinds of other things. And so anyway, we're going to try Pam one more time to see if I can get her, and then we'll call her a little bit later if we can. I had originally planned on calling Pam about 20 till after we visited with Omar for a minute. Both of them are just folks that I like to check in with.
Good morning.
Hey, there you are. I appreciate you letting me bring you on early. And if you don't mind, I want to talk for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to call Omar, and then I'm going to call you back. And the reason why, Omar, you know Omar Hamada, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, love him. And he is an OR doctor, and he was supposed to come on here at 7:05, and he says, I just got out of OR. So I'm like, he goes, can you give me 10 minutes? I'm like, sure. So anyway, no problem. So I'm going to call him back here in a minute, and then after I kind of wrap up with him, I'll give you a call back. I just want to catch up with you guys. Because we're in, we're in a political season, and there's a lot going on. We've got this special election coming up on December 2nd. I've heard this woman is not in favor of pro-life, and I just, we try not to get too political here, but man, I'll die on the hill of pro-life. I'm going to do everything I can to keep our babies safe, and if that means there's only one choice, then so be it. And, without getting too endorsement here, know that your candidates are going to protect the life of the unborn, guys. And if they're not, don't vote for them. How's that for clear and concise? Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just drinking my second cup of coffee.
Oh, there you go. That's a good day.
Crispy Monday morning.
I know it. Well, it's going to get cold this week. We're having Thanksgiving outdoors on Black Friday, and of course, that's going to be the coldest day this week. It's like, what? Anyway, to fill me in on what you're doing right now. What all have you got going on?
Sure. So, we are getting ready for the 2026 legislative session, if you will. And, I don't know if you mentioned that I work with Americans for Prosperity Tennessee.
I haven't mentioned that yet, but yeah.
Okay, awesome. So anyway, we're getting ready for that. In fact, we have an event that's coming up there in Springfield on January the 3rd, along with the party, with the Robertson County GOP at Purpose Driven Church. We are, is it Purpose Driven or Purpose Life? It's Purpose Life, isn't it?
Purpose Life, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
So at any rate, but it will be on Saturday, January the 3rd, and we will have State Senator Kerry Roberts with us, and, of course, Representative Doc Kumar will be with us to talk about what is ahead for 2026. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that AFP is looking to do. We're investigating the possibility of capping your property taxes. Too many counties, too many places keep raising property taxes by crazy amounts. I live in Davidson County, so I can testify to that very easily. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to look at the possibility of trying to cap those raises when it comes to your property taxes. That's number one. I mean, we're also looking at expanding the Education Freedom Scholarships. Not enough people were able to tap into the average of $7,300 for parents to send their kids to different schools. And so it was only 20,000 of them last year. So we're looking to expand that to more so we can get those parents off those wait lists so they can enjoy school choice for their kids. So that's the other thing. And then we're looking to put an end to the executives that are in need of scrutiny. In some places it's called the REINS Act. Here we call it the Regulatory Freedom Act. I mean, unelected bureaucrats have been on a regulatory frenzy, leading Tennessee's economy and families and businesses dry. I mean, we're talking about more than 8 million words unelected Tennessee bureaucrats have written into rules and regulations. And these are people that we did not elect. And so we're looking at, like I said, the regulatory, what are we calling it now? The Regulatory Freedom Act. I apologize. Some people call it REINS.
No, you're fine.
We're calling it the Regulatory Freedom Act. And we're looking at making sure that if anything that these agencies or these bureaucrats, any decisions that they make is more than $1 million impact, then it has to go before the state lawmakers. You're not going to be able to make those decisions without going through the right channels and the people that represent us. And so that's what we're looking to pass next year as well.
Okay. Well, that's a lot. Oh, my gosh. You're going to be busy then.
We're busy. We're very, very busy.
When
and
is
if anybody wants to go with us to the Hill, by the way, we do that once a month, too, our Day on the Hill. And our first one will be January the 13th. So you can come and go with us. And I have a ton of people that come with us from Robertson County. So if you want to be one of them, just let me know, and I'll be happy to figure out a way to get the transportation either to you or pay for your parking downtown or something. But we'll make sure that you get to go to the Capitol if you'd like to and meet lawmakers. I mean, we set up appointments, like personal meetings with lawmakers that maybe you don't get to meet, you know, there in Robertson County.
So tell me again what the date is you're going to be here in Robertson County. You, my friend Pamela, I'd love to see you, sweetheart. I haven't seen you in forever.
I know. It's been a long time. January the 3rd is when we are doing that. And it's the monthly breakfast with the Robertson County GOP.
Y'all got to quit doing that so early.
We're just partnering with them.
I keep telling them that's just too early on Saturday. That's my only.
Well, it's 8:30.
Yeah,
it's 8:30. I know
early,
it's your only day to sleep,
I get up
isn't
at
it?
3:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday. I mean, it's like, come on, cut me some slack. But well, maybe I'll try to get by there. I'd love to see you. It would be fun.
I would love to see you as well. It's been a while.
Here's, you had asked if there was any topics. I've been looking at what are the possibilities, or do you think the Republicans will hold the House in the fall? That's my question for you when I call you back here in a minute. I'm gonna hang up and give Omar a call. I had him on, scheduled to call him.
Sure.
But, excuse me. That's kind of what I want to talk about because we've got the special election coming up. And do you think that, I mean, how well are we looking at holding that seat? I mean, is it?
I think we are going to hold that. What, do you want me to answer it now or wait?
Just real quickly, are we going to hold that seat? Kind of tease us. Do you feel like, but we've got to get out. You can't just be like, you got to get out.
We're going to hold it. I think we're going to hold it. But like you just said, you got to get out and vote, and you can't be complacent about it and think, we got this, because Afton Bain and her people, her minions, are working very, very, very hard, and they're putting millions of dollars into this race. Yeah. And so you can't just sit back and think that it will automatically be a Republican seat. You just can't.
And it's like this. If you don't want to get political, just protect the life of the unborn. I mean, we have got to hold that line. And the only way to do it is with conservative leadership, because they've made it very clear that that is not a priority on the other side at all. I'm not even a priority. It's like to the level. I don't even want to give. We'll talk in a minute. That's one that Lee Marie sent me a little note about being, that she was very much not a pro-lifer at all. And I was like, okay, that right there seals the deal, in my
Yeah, well,
opinion.
most
But
Democrats aren't.
yeah, I know. I don't
Yeah.
understand it. But anyway, friend, I will call you back here. Let me visit with Omar for a
All
little
right.
bit, and I'll give you a call back, and we'll talk some more. But I do want to talk about what the fall projections look like,
Okay,
as a
great.
whole, because I think that for conservatives that really care about, number one, protecting the life of the unborn, we're on our knees in prayer over it, because
Mhm. Mhm.
we don't want to go back to what we were seeing, 5, 6 years ago, the horrors of it.
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
there's a lot of things I'd like to ask you about that. And I'm going to talk to Omar about it a little bit too. Love you, friend. I will
Okay.
call you back in just a few minutes. Okay.
Okay. All
All right.
right. Yes, ma'am. Bye.
Thank you, guys. And we're so glad that we can utilize these phone lines, because, I mean, to ask some people to, drive an hour to come here, and Omar and Pamela have done it before, but that is a big ask. So when we can get them on the phone and just kind of check in with them, that is always fun. But we're going to see if we can't get Omar on the phone. Like I said, I had originally planned on visiting with Omar and then giving Pamela a call. And then Omar I couldn't get him right away. And he goes, hey, can you give me a few minutes? I just got out of OR. He's a fascinating dude, guys. If you don't know him, he's a lot of fun to talk to. So we're going to see if we can get him on the phone right now. And I don't know. I think I might be.
Hey, it's Omar.
Hey, Omar.
Yes.
Oh, hi, bud. You're on the air, buddy. You good?
Fantastic.
Did-
Hey, LaVern. All right, that was fast. You didn't even give me any buffer there.
Well, because we don't have a call screener. We're a little radio station up in, Robertson County.
Yeah.
If you talk to the big guys up in Nashville, you have a call screener stand by for whoever the talk show host
Right.
is. I'm just a one chick show up here, man. But I'm so blessed to be able to continue to my kids, and because I'm teaching school full time. And my kids in high school to be like, we saw your podcast, Miss Vivio, on whatever this morning. I'm like, no, guys, it's real radio. It is a terrestrial
Amazing. Yeah.
signal going out, but we do record it and all those things too. So it's on YouTube. So we have an archive and we have our social medias. But anyway, I want to know what's going on with you, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. What a year, man! It's a great year, LaVern. So it was a few years of challenging encounters, right?
Yeah.
I think I can't remember how much but it was
Well,
a few challenging years there on several fronts. But this year things pivoted and things are fantastic.
you
So
were
we're
in
very-
Washington, and let me just kind of preface it. I didn't properly introduce my friend. I always love your social media. It's like Slave of Christ #1, and we could talk so much about the theology of we are slaves for Christ. We were purchased with the price of His blood on the cross and all that. And he's theologian, father, paratrooper, physician, surgeon, theologian, of course, musician, writer, entrepreneur, special forces veteran. Just love you, brother. You just a hero, and we appreciate you so much. So that's who we're talking to right now, guys. If you're not familiar with Omar, tell me about going to Washington and what you did up there. Whenever the most recent one, where you?
Yeah. So there's a lot.
The most
There's a
recent
lot
time.
there, LaVern.
Yeah.
There's a lot there. So I'll just tell you, there have been. Let me just start back at last year, just
Okay.
to give everybody sort of a heads up of what's happening. So a year ago, we're in 25. So back in 24, our friend Mark Green called and said, "Hey, I'm getting out, quitting," and pretty quickly I sped up an exploratory committee and was 2 days away from announcing that I was going to jump in the race to take Mark's place. This was April. Was it April, March, or April of 24?
I can't remember exactly when it was all, because we talked. You and I talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then 2 days before I was about to announce, he called me up and said, "Nope, I'm getting back in." I'm like, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? My life was upside down, and I finally decided, okay, let's we're going to make the jump, and everything was going full steam, and then all of a sudden, like, put the brakes on.
Mm.
So when it happened again this year, he announced again that he was quitting, and then all the other stuff came out. Still, got a few calls, and I was like, nope, sort of. I was ready last year. This year, things have changed with business and opportunities, and I wasn't sure if he was really getting out or if he might jump back in again. And I was like, I'm not going to go through that rigmarole again this year. So I got behind, Matt Van Epps, who is also another special operations combat veteran, and that means a lot. When people who haven't served in that capacity, I think, don't understand the camaraderie and brotherhood it builds, and the toll it takes on your family and your life, and the sacrifices you really do have to make. I mean, there's some glory in it, romanticism on the back end, but when you're in the middle of it, you really don't know if you're coming home. You really don't know if this is your last hurrah or what's going to happen. I mean, you can't control where bullets fly. So, it takes a certain type of dedication, a certain type of commitment, and a certain type of person to do that kind of thing, to put yourself in harm's way. So knowing, even though I didn't really know Matt that well, knowing his history with special operations, 160th SOAR, Apache pilot, Chinook pilot, combat vet, and all that, it was like, and West Pointer, means a lot too. So he's made those sacrifices. That means a lot to me, despite all the hate he's getting from some of my colleagues in the Republican Party. I just like his history. So, so I decided, let's let him run with it, and I'm going to focus on these other things. So then, in the middle of all that, before all that happened, last November, I got contacted by Trump's transition team, after the election, before his inauguration. And they were like, hey, we're interested in interviewing you for a few different positions if you're interested. And I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
So there were like half a dozen things they wanted to talk about. The thing so we went through a bunch of stuff, got vetted for several things, with both Department of State and also Veterans Administration, also HHS under Kennedy, and also the White House, in terms of, I think one of the options was physician to the president and all that. So we looked at all that, and then I was finally asked to come down and interview at Mar-a-Lago, down in Palm Beach. So interviewed for the position of Deputy Secretary of the VA under Secretary Collins. And so did that. It went great, but I felt like, even in the interview, you can usually tell how it's going. I felt like he was looking for somebody different, something a little bit different. So, but then when I was interviewing with his team, they were like, we need to get you in front of State. So they took me downstairs, and we talked to State about several positions as, special envoy for the Middle East and possible ambassadorships and all this other stuff. So, because they were just putting the team together, and
Right.
And they were like, okay, we're going to bring you back in a week and put you in front of Rubio and talk about that. But it was near Christmas, and things were moving fast, so nothing else ever happened. So I was like, well, that was fun. But it was such an honor. I mean, I don't mean that
Are you
cynically.
kidding?
I mean, it really was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was such an honor. I mean, how many times in your life are you going to get called by the president's transition team and interview for 7 different positions?
Yeah.
So it was, I don't know how I got on their radar, but somehow I did. So it was, I enjoyed the whole process. Got to meet Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi and, a few other people. Just not just like, hey, shake hands, whatever. So then that was it. And then now to what you're talking about, a couple of months ago, again, minding my own business, got an email. Hey, we'd like you to come up and MC an event at the White House that we're putting on for veterans suicide issues. So, anytime they call and say, we'd like you to do this or that, the answer is always yes.
Of course.
So, yeah.
Let me move my schedule around.
Right. So the struggle, though, as a physician is a lot of times when we commit to an ER shift or a labor and delivery shift or whatever we're doing, those are hard. You're committed. I mean, that's your commitment. And you can't, if you just bug out, say, oh, I'm not going to show up, or I call in, that's just not acceptable for a physician. A lot of other staff can do that, but docs, we just can't. And they'll turn us in for, patient abandonment and stuff like that if we just don't show, as they should. And it's really hard to fill those shifts last minute. So I just prayed. I was like, Lord, if it's your will that I go, then, let somebody pick this up. So I put my shift up for trade or for pickup. And literally, I've done that before so many times, and nobody ever picks them up because it's like, we're all overwhelmed, it's too much work. Within literally 2 hours, somebody picked it up. I was like, wow, all right, great. So I emailed them back like, yeah, I'm available. So went up and basically emceed a 2 hour event, including panel discussion for about 100 people there at the White House on VA suicides and the integration of faith-based organizations for that. Franklin Graham was supposed to be there, but his son Edward Graham, who's now running Samaritan's Purse, was there instead. Alveda Scott King was there, and she did the national anthem. She is so sweet. It's like, I met her, and it's like I've known her my whole life. I mean, she's just so warm and friendly. One of the cabinet members' wives was actually pushing to be the MC, but was told, no, we have Dr. Hamada who's going to MC it. So I found that wild. She still showed up with her entourage and was there to support us. Fully appreciate that so much. The First Lady was supposed to be there. She was very interested, and the understanding was she may be there with her entourage. But it was the same. It turned out to be the same day as the state dinner in England. So she accompanied her husband, the president, to the state dinner in the UK. So she wasn't there. But we had a full house, full room of about, I'd say close to 100 people. And it went for 2 hours. And, I was a little nervous, but, because I didn't know who the audience was going to be, and it was going to be a lot of, heavy hitters. But it turned out great. And I think we made some big moves for the veterans' cause with regards to suicide. And the issue is, usually the VA, does all the medical treatment and the medications and the therapy and the psychotherapy and assistance with that. But we really haven't had access to faith-based organizations that have demonstrated and proven time and again great successes with suicidal behavior and suicidal thoughts and, intentions. So we were able to get that out there. There were some members of Congress in the room. And then the Secretary Collins, couldn't make it. He had a death in the family and was doing the funeral in Georgia, I believe. So the Deputy Secretary was there, and our team was able to meet with him. And I told a little joke. I was like, yeah, I was supposed to have your job, but, we all snickered a little bit. So anyway, yeah, so that was it.
But I just love it. I love seeing you up there. I love seeing you have those opportunities and that exposure because, number one, I know how hard you work. And I know, I've seen your resume, and it's quite impressive. And I'm cheering you on, Betty. I just know that there's going to be, I think you're going to be in Washington in some capacity at some point. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I think it's going to happen. But if you want it to, put it that way, and if the Lord wants it to happen.
Yeah.
So
I would love that to happen, but it's like I tell people, it's not something that I'm going to chase and not something I'm dying to do, especially with the current situation. I mean,
yeah,
it's just gotten to be so hostile and it's just like a wood chipper. I mean,
yeah.
they just tear each other apart, and who wants that? I mean, the reason I would do it is because I believe in our country and I want to save it, and that's the same reason I joined the Special Forces and went into combat in Afghanistan. Same reason, not for the fame or glory or title, but it would be the same thing. So, I mean, Washington isn't something that I'm chasing, but if the Lord opened the door and I felt that the mantle was on me, then I would step through and do it. So.
Well said. Well said. I'll tell you, we're talking with Dr. Omar Hamada. Again, just an impressive resume, so many things that he's done. He is a Special Forces veteran. He is a doctor, emergency room doctor right now, but an OBGYN for many, many, many years. How many babies have you delivered? You'd said something.
I don't know, a few thousand. Yeah, and actually that's what so I flip-flop. Like Thursday I was in the ER, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I've been on labor and delivery, and then tomorrow I'm back in the ER. So it's a fun, it's fun. So.
I just can't even imagine to watch birth happen over and over and over again, and the awe of it. I can't even fathom what that must be like. You know, I've got my fifth grandchild that's due in March, and it's so fun to watch my daughter-in-laws as they go through their first pregnancy, you know, and all those things. It's like I've got one daughter-in-law that's had three, and she's so different than the one that has one and the one that's expecting now. It's just so fun to watch, and I try to remember what it was like when I was expecting and have, because you know I had twins, and they delivered them early because they got concerned that we had some trauma going on, and so it's just fascinating, the whole process. That's got to be one of the most amazing parts of your job.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And yes, it's always great bringing a new life into the world.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very cool.
So, but all of it's great, and you know, I think the switching up helps keep it fresh, and so you don't get burned out too much. But my goal is, LaVern, my goal was to be out of the hospital by the end of this year, and just doing more of a high-level concierge longevity practice that
Right.
I've been involved with for a while. But we're not there yet. So hopefully by second quarter of 26, I'll be out of the hospital and able to just focus on concierge patients.
That was my next question. Is the concierge program that you're putting together? Are you are doing that to some degree now?
Yes. So yeah, I've got about half a dozen patients, and they're, you know, between Arizona, Colorado, and Tennessee right now. But you know, I've had some great. I mean, usually, you know, it's entrepreneurs and legislators and
Sure.
actors or celebrities, like, you know, Kevin Sorbo's one that he's gone out there and promoted me, and Jay Sekulow as well, and all that. So
I got to meet
there've been
him,
others.
and what a great guy. Oh my gosh.
Who? Which one? Sorbo or Sekulow?
Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, they're both great guys. Yeah.
He was at the Blaze many times while I was there, and him and his bride, and just a sweet. They're just amazing couple, just an amazing couple. And
Sam. Yeah, she's great.
yeah, the way that they bring the conservative values into entertainment has been just wonderful. And yeah, they're amazing. That's very cool. But I'm super proud of you, brother, and just cheering you on all the way. And anything else? I mean, how are you feeling about? This is a question I told you. I'm talking to Pamela today too, Pamela Furr, and I had asked her. I said, "What are your projections for fall?" Because I got a note from my friend Lee Marie that also does a show here, and she was saying, you know, we've really got to push the vote out on December 2nd because the other side is running somebody that's not pro-life. And, you know, we try to stay out of politics on these airways because this is a Christian broadcast company, and we don't take political candidates in and those kinds of things. But I will die on the hill of pro-life. I mean, we've got to stop sacrificing our children because that's exactly what it is. I've gotten to where I study ancient history just constantly, and the way human sacrifice was such a part of the culture, you know, a couple of thousand years ago, 3,000 years ago, particularly. But to think that we're not doing it now through abortion and so many other things, of course, human trafficking and all those things, we're just putting blinders on. And it's something that is just, we've got to have a recommitment to protecting all life. And I don't know. How are you feeling about the fall with the House?
You know, for the past, you know, a few years ago, I was elected as chairman of the Williamson County Republican Party, and I didn't serve the whole term because I was going through all that junk in my life, right? The divorce,
Right.
the business, the health issues in the hospital for 2 months, and, you know, all that stuff. And that was my first taste of how toxic local politics has become, where in Williamson County, the Republican Party was eating each other and trying to destroy one another, just with ferocity. And I think that was kind of the start of it. And it was like, you know, I've got enough junk and toxic stuff going on in my life. I don't need this. And I just, you know, I thought I was going into help. But I still would have stuck it out if I could have, but I think with everything else going on in the middle of a divorce, my dad died the same time. It's like
Hmm.
everything.
I
I
remember.
felt like Job. It's like the whole world was coming
Yeah.
crashing down.
Well, you were so
So,
sick. I mean, we weren't sure you were going to
yeah,
survive. I mean, that was
yeah,
scary.
exactly.
That was scary. So, absolutely.
Yeah, it really was. So, so you know, and over the ensuing past few years, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And now we have two Republican parties in Williamson County who absolutely hate each other, going at
Mm.
each other's throats, trying to destroy one another. And now we have it's spreading throughout Middle Tennessee, where the Republicans are, you're not conservative enough, and I'm going to destroy you because you're not conservative enough on this one issue or this other issue. While the Democrats are silently advancing and strengthening their foundations and pouring millions of dollars into the state in these races, and now CD7, Mark Green's old district, we have a very real. I mean, there's a real risk that we could lose that to a communist, to a radical socialist who hates Nashville, who's been I think a city council woman there for a while, but and it's I think because we are so focused on killing each other that we don't care if the Democrats win anymore.
Mm.
And we're about to hand it to them on a silver platter. And that scares the heck out of me because, then it's hard to get it back,
Oh, yeah.
And I think the state legislature, and I remember, several years ago, they wanted to redraw all the lines on CD7. And Mark Green was one of them, said, you better not. And they were like, no, it's a safe Republican district. I don't know what it was, plus 23 or whatever. And now I don't know what it is, maybe plus 6 or 7, but they were like, no, it's solidly Republican. We're going to take some of those and put them in other districts. And Mark was like, you're going to regret it. And now here we are in 25, and there are Republicans. I see them on social media saying, whatever you do, don't vote for Matt Van Epps. Vote for anybody different. And who cares if the Democrats win? And I'm like, and these are conservatives, these are
Unbelievable.
Republicans,
Yeah.
really? I mean,
Unbelievable.
it's infuriating. So, we can't fix Washington until we fix ourselves, and we're so far away from that now.
Man, just be
So,
in prayer for it for sure. I mean, that's more than anything is just be in prayer that we have, the godly leaders that we need to really get this country turned around in the way it needs to be. And I appreciate all that you do. I watch your stuff and Pamela's and different ones like that to stay up to date on what's going on because I've got to stay up to date, but I just can't listen to it anymore. I just
I
can't.
know.
I can't get totally immersed in it like I was because I was absolutely immersed in it for a long time. And
Yeah, and the crazy thing, you were. And the crazy thing is you tell people, come on, folks, let's get together and present a united front. And then they start attacking you.
yeah,
And here's the thing that scares me, LaVern. Here's the thing that scares me. Islam.
yeah,
And they are advancing all over the world. We see
yeah.
what they're doing to Europe. They are in the United States, and they are taking over. I mean, what just happened in New York City? I mean, and then Minnesota, and then Michigan,
It's
and
breathtaking, isn't it?
even in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time unless we turn it around, and we haven't turned it around. We're continuing in a downward trajectory as far as that goes.
Well, and Glenn's talked a
So,
lot about it too, and people are just like, "Oh, you're being paranoid," and it's like, no, I mean, just look at Glenn used to always say, well, he still does. You're not going to recognize your country. Well, I don't from the one that I grew up with, and I think you would probably say the same thing. It looks so different. So many things look so different, and we can either let evil take it and just continue to play with it, or we can turn it back around and take things like I can remember one time I was watching something with Beth Moore, and she was talking about the advancement of the word going out because of the internet. And she said, what the evil one wants to take and use for evil, we're going to take it for good. And you think about that. So many people were so concerned about, and I still talk to preachers that there's just too much information out there. And I'm like, no, there's not. That just means you have more work to do. You have to be more discerning, and you have to study it, and you have to make sure what you're studying is real. But you have access to everything now. There's
yeah.
no barriers. And so I love that, but you have to put more work in. It's a lot more work because there's so much out there that you have to discern. So we've got to figure out a way to take the things that the evil one wants to use and claim them back for God and Jesus and the gospel and all those things, and keep working. That's all we can do. Just keep working, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to share with us, brother, before we wrap up our time together? I just wanted to catch up with you because I just watch you and I'm like, man, he's doing so many cool things. So
Yeah, and there's so much more. There's so much more I could talk. I could talk forever. So because we have a new business in downtown Franklin that's body contouring with the lasers, and
oh, cool.
it's amazing.
Well, tell us about that. How can people get in touch with that? That's cool.
So it's eontennessee.com, eontennessee.com. And the lady who actually owns it, Crystal Mahfouz, she's the one, she lives in Lafayette, Louisiana. We also have another one down there. She's the one who came up with the term "Make America Great Again." And she pitched Trump back in 2015 and sold him on it. And now she does all of his merch. She does all of his merch. She does all of Eric's and all of Laura Trump's merch. And now she does, many Republican candidates across the country. I went down and toured her factory, her warehouse last week, and it was amazing. You can see some of it on my Facebook feed.
That's crazy.
So anyway,
okay.
Yeah, so we're doing Eon together. I'm her medical director, and it's fantastic. Love handles and man boobs and any type of, fat that you can't get, that's stubborn that you can't get rid of over a C-section scar or whatever.
Right.
This laser will get rid of, 25% of subcutaneous fat. So
interesting.
Pretty cool.
Interesting. That is really cool. I'm going to check that out more. I had not noticed that. So I'm going to go back and take a look at that. But, well, that's really cool. Anything else that you want to throw out there before we finish up?
Just two other things. You're just trying to get a book out by the end of the year.
Okay.
Also, my concierge. Can I tell the website?
Yes,
for that?
Absolutely.
If anybody, it's triapogee.com. So it's a TRI-apogee, APOGEE, like a comet.
Do it one more time.
Yeah, triapogee.com. TRI-APOGEE, apogee.com.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
And what you said, what about the book? What's the book content going to be?
So, a few years back when I sent that tweet out that went viral, 10 million hits that got me on Fox and Newsmax and all that stuff, I got a book deal and I'm finally finishing up. So, But I'm also going to be writing stuff on, there are like 12 books I have in my head, right? So longevity, that'll probably be, one of the first as well. And then also a memoir. So somebody talked me into doing one of those.
That'll be cool. I'll look forward to it, my friend. Love you, brother. Yeah. Thank you so
Love
much.
you
I just found your post for the Eon, and so I shared that on my social media as well. And I'll go and find your concierge too and share that. But always interested in what you're doing, and it's just so good just to catch up. And happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're going to have
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Are you going to take some time with the family?
I am.
Good.
I am. So
good.
This week.
Well, enjoy. You are deserving of it all, brother. And I love you, and it's so good catching up with you.
Thanks. Same here.
God bless you. God bless you.
You too.
That's Omar Hamada, guys. Again, just if you don't follow him, you should. I love how he purses his page. It's Slave of Christ, Father, Paratrooper, Physician, Surgeon, Theologian, Musician, Writer, Entrepreneur. He doesn't put on there that he's a Special Forces veteran, but he is, doctor of OBGYN, emergency room doctor, all the things. Very interesting fellow, and he's got his concierge service and now this Eon service down in Franklin. So just a lot of stuff going on with him. He's a fun one to check out. But I just wanted to, this is kind of the holiday week, and it's just kind of one of those times where you just kind of want to, we're working to have a family reunion in a big way on the Friday after Thanksgiving. Now, the weather has not cooperated the last 2 years. It was super cold last year. This year, it looks like it's going to be the coldest day of the week, and we have to utilize the barn because we expect a big crowd. So anyway, nonetheless, it's that family reunion kind of time, the Thanksgiving. You reconnect, and we just haven't done enough of that since, since the generation before us has passed. We just don't seem to do enough of that. And so I'm trying to kind of get that going for my family and friends that are like family, and so I hope you'll do that. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to check in with Omar and with Pamela today. is for that reason. But I'm going to get Pamela on the phone again now, and we're gonna kind of get an update from her. She is, of course, with Americans for Prosperity, but we're going to get her on the phone here in just a second after I talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty, because you know well that they are our longest running full-time sponsor. We love them dearly and always looking forward to talking with them and seeing what's going on in their world. They'll do food drives. They gave a car to the police department there in Cross Plains, celebrating their 30 years in Cross Plains as Cross Plainians. They're very community activated. They're very community focused. Barry puts together this beautiful video that showcases the programs of Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center every year. Just, it's almost like they can't do enough. You ask them, they're going to be like, yeah, I'll see what I can do. But they're also experts at real estate, whether it's buying or selling. If you want to be a realtor, you could not find anybody that could mentor you better than Barry and Rebecca Richards at Exit Prime Realty. They were with the Garden Gate team for years and years, but they decided to bring you a new branch in the Exit tree a while back. I mean, time goes fast. It's probably been a year now, but they brought you Exit Prime Realty. And all that is again, another branch in the Exit tree. But you can call Rebecca if you need details at 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy.robertscounty.com. You'll get her expertise as one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. Barry's expertise as a marketer. He was a media marketing vice president for 17 years in Nashville. He's now a broker here locally, and she has her agency office up in White House. And again, together, they are Exit Prime Realty. Buying, selling, whatever you need. Make sure you know how much you can qualify for if you're going to buy. Make sure you know what your property is valued at. If you're getting ready to sell, they'll do a free market analysis for you. And make sure you're working with a great mentor if you want to be a realtor. They're the whole package. Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. Be sure and let them know that U-Turn sent you. And we're going to give Pamela a call here and see if we can't get her on the line. I also want to remind you of what's going on with Bernard Farms. They'll be closed, of course, for I think Thursday and Friday, and they're going to be open Tuesday and Wednesday. Let me double check their hours. You with me, Pamela?
I am.
You are? Okay, let me check the hours for Bernard Farms real quick. That's another one of our sponsors, and I just want to make sure I get their hours right. Yeah, they're there Tuesday and Wednesday this week. They're closed. Of course, they're closed today, but they're going to be closed Thanksgiving and then Friday, and then they'll be back open on Saturday from 7 to 4. So today and tomorrow, 7 to 4, and then Saturday from 7 to 4. You can give them a call, and we'll check in with Julie and see what all's going on out there. But anyway, so I've got my breaks done, Pamela. It's just you and me now for 15 minutes, talking to Omar about all the things. We touched a little bit on some of the stuff that, I challenged you about. Where do you think we're going in the fall? Mm-hmm. How do you feel about it? He was telling me a little bit about some of the political infighting within the party and things, because they're having, he's down in Franklin and, all the stuff, all the things. I don't miss politics, sister. I gotta be honest with you. I don't miss it. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless,
what kind of infighting is he talking about? Because I think you're seeing some of that infighting fall to the wayside as people get behind the candidate for the special election. So,
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's always minutia and the little things. But here, you and I both know this from our years and years of being in broadcasting. Mm-hmm. The truth of the matter is most people do not get involved in the minutia of party infighting. All they care about is who's the candidate, what do they believe, and are they going to make my life better?
Yeah.
And vote the way that I believe that they should vote. That's what they care about. They don't care about, well, this person has been there for 20 years, maybe they should leave. Most people don't care about the name Rhino. Mm-hmm. Most people don't care. And that's the bottom line. They care about how is this candidate going to affect my life and make my life a place where I can pursue the American dream easier and make things better for my family. That's what they care about. And mm-hmm. So, I know it's fun sometimes for political insiders to talk about the infighting or the minutia. And I'm not trying to poo-poo your guest. I'm just saying most people don't care about that. That really is the truth.
Well,
Those who like to speak louder care about it, and those who are on social media care about it. But most voters, because I talk to them at the grassroots level in the job that I have, they don't care about all that.
well,
They really don't.
That's encouraging then. That's very encouraging, to know that.
Yeah.
And, and I know, like you said, very grassroots and the things that you're doing. How long have you been now with Americans for Prosperity? It's been a minute now.
Yeah, so it'll be 3 years in July.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yeah,
That's very
so
cool.
about 2.5 years at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's very cool. And so so let's just recap. Let's kind of revisit what you're going to be doing and when you're going to be here. You're going to be here for the
Sure.
Republican breakfast in January.
I am. So it is on January the 3rd at Purpose Life Church. Looking forward to that. It'll start at 8:30. And what we're going to do is basically a legislative preview. We'll make sure that Senator Kerry Roberts and Representative Doc Kumar are there. They've agreed to be there. And so we're going to just kind of give you a lay of the land of some of the legislation that's coming up in the 2026 General Assembly. And some of those issues are what we talked about before when it comes to regulatory things, also about capping our property taxes. We're going to expand or hope to expand the Education Freedom Scholarships. I know that Speaker of the House has talked about that. The Majority Leader has talked about that in the Senate, about giving more parents the opportunity to get those Education Freedom Scholarships. Only 20,000 families were able to do it last year, and so we're hoping to expand that this year as well. So come and join us. The breakfast is free. We're going to bring breakfast, and I think they always participate in a potluck in that breakfast, but we're going to bring breakfast, and then if anybody wants to bring something extra, they're more than welcome to do that. But let's fill the building up, and let's talk about the future.
I love it. And I know that everybody will enjoy seeing you and visiting with you. Well, what was the question that I asked you prior to? How are you feeling about the fall election for the House and the Senate?
Well, I will say this from a Tennessee standpoint. I feel really, really good about it.
Right.
I'll also have to say, when it comes to elections, I have to take my AFP hat off because that is a different division of Americans for Prosperity that is altogether. So I can't really talk about elections, but I can say this as Pamela, and again, I can say this as somebody who's involved in things in Tennessee. Tennessee, I think, is in a very good place. Now, that doesn't mean that some other states might make some bad decisions. So the bottom line is this. The political infighting that Omar was talking about, now that could cause some problems when it comes to other states.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at President Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene fighting, for crying out loud. Did you have that on your bingo card?
Yeah,
I did not have that on my bingo card.
Yeah, no,
so,
I didn't either. But yeah.
That part is a little scary is not the right word. Concerning, I guess, would be the right word. Only because we don't want to lose that House seat. From a political or personal standpoint, whether you like her or not, it doesn't matter. We have to keep that seat.
Didn't she resign?
I think
she's stepping
down.
resigning. Yeah.
She's resigning in January.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know in Georgia how they play that. Do they do a special election also, or how does that work in Georgia? I don't know. I don't know what their laws are, but I do know that we have to keep that seat. And then it'll be just like the special election for us. Whoever wins, if they do a special election there, will have to turn right around and campaign again because of the election in the fall, just like with what will happen in our Tennessee Congressional District number 7. So anyway, it'll be a whole lot of campaigning going on, but we got to keep that seat. We got to keep the majority in the House. If we do not, Are we looking at another impeachment?
Oh,
Or
good
3 or
land.
4 or 5? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, not to mention, none of Donald Trump's agenda will be able to move forward. And we certainly
Yeah.
know that Donald Trump's agenda has worked well for us. Look at the working families tax cuts that were made permanent in that big, beautiful bill. We love that.
Hmm.
So, anyway, that part is concerning for sure. But get out, if we get off our duffs, if we get involved, go to events, if you have an opportunity to volunteer. I know, again, I said that in Tennessee we're doing pretty well, but everybody's got friends in another state. So if you have an opportunity to look, I've been phone banking this past weekend. You can phone bank from your house, in other states. You can call your friends and say, here's an opportunity to volunteer with this organization or with that organization. Look, Americans for Prosperity is all over the country. You can volunteer with an Americans for Prosperity organization in another state if they have some sort of phone banking going on or whatever.
Hmm.
Get out there and knock on doors. Go to events. Show up at the polls with signs with the candidate that you believe in. There are all kinds of things that you can do to get involved, and that's what it's going to take in 2026. That is 100% sure. You
Well,
have to get involved.
and I think people have seen the effects that those that are really, wanting to make a difference and get out and help, you can campaign in other states. You can go and
Mhm.
help, in your neighboring states. There's no reason to think
Mhm.
that you can't go down to Georgia, if you need
Right.
to. And
If the devil went down to Georgia, you can go down to Georgia.
oh, you had to go there, didn't you? I love it. You're too funny. Well, what else have you got going on? I mean, I guess this is with it being, coming up on the election year and all the things.
Mhm.
Um, that's your world right now. Anything? Just you, Pamela. What's going on with you? Are you still
Oh my
filling in
gosh.
his talk show and stuff every now and then? Are,
When people call me,
okay, because I mean, I
yeah,
love listening
yeah,
to you when you're
yeah.
on, But when's the last? I mean, have you had some opportunities here locally, or are you still getting?
I have not from a local standpoint. I have in Memphis.
Oh, good.
I have in other places. I have not locally in a while,
Shame on them.
simply because, A, call me, and B, I've been extremely busy,
Right.
with the work
Right.
here in the state. So, it's those two combinations that have kept me off the air for a little bit. But I mean, I certainly talk to our local hosts at the
Sure.
radio
Sure.
station in Nashville all the time
Yeah.
about different issues and whatnot. So it's not like it's not like it's been banned. It's just that things are certainly pretty busy around here. But I'm going home for Thanksgiving. I'm going to visit with my parents. I don't know about anybody listening if they go through aging parents. I mean, my mother is 90.
Oh,
My
wow.
father is 83. My mother, they both are still at home. Both are healthy in that they don't have any, fatal diseases or anything like that. But, as you continue to get older, I mean, your body is shutting down, right?
Yeah.
And your mind is shutting down. So my sister and I have been talking about this for a while. It's just it's sad to see. I maybe have conversations with my mother that last about 3 minutes,
Yeah.
and during that 3 minutes, she's repeated her questions at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So her memory is just shot. And my father, has got a little bit of dementia stuff happening, and it's just the circle of life.
Yeah.
But here we are at this point in my life, something I haven't dealt with before, and so it's just you pray a lot,
Hmm.
and you realize too that hey, this is my future too.
Yeah. That's
We'll all end up there.
that's one thing is you sit there and talk about it because I'll be 63 here in just another week and 2 weeks maybe.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, so hitting 63 is kind of like, wow, okay. It's
Mhm.
just kind of
Mhm.
trippy, but I mean, it's a great blessing to be well, and to to be living for, my sister didn't make it to 60, so,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
So, you just be
Yeah.
thankful for every year and every
But I'll
opportunity
tell
that the
you,
Lord has.
yeah, well, I'll tell you this, bringing it back to, political, if for just a minute. I am very encouraged. I will say AFP Tennessee has had the opportunity to work with groups like TP USA, Turning Point USA, after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. We had the opportunity to partner with some of these college groups. And I am, because we just wanted to reach out and say, you know what, we're here, we love you, what can we do to help you?
Hmm.
And I am so encouraged by some of these college groups and these young people who are getting active, conservative young people that are getting active and aren't afraid to stand up and say, I'm a conservative, I love God, and I love my country, and I'm not ashamed of it. And that has been very encouraging. The other thing that's been encouraging is that those young people aren't afraid to talk to the 50-year-old
Yeah.
or the 60-year-old
Right.
or the 70-year-old.
Right.
They
Yeah.
actually are respectful, and that has been so amazing to me. And I have enjoyed that thoroughly, and I hope to continue that through 2026. Turning Point has certainly touched on a need that has been out there on our college campuses for years and years.
Mm.
And so just being able to support those young people has been quite a blessing, certainly for me, and I know my colleagues at AFP Tennessee. So I'm very encouraged by that.
That is, I think that's a really good point to kind of wrap up our time on. And again, we'll try to have you back on. We'll just make a point to get you back on here so we can promote you coming in January. And we can do this via
Yes,
phone.
ma'am.
Phone lines are working great. Thank you, Ebenezer Broadcast and ILU Maldonado for making all those things work because it just gives us a chance to broaden our horizons behind. We have a lot of great people we love to talk to here in Robertson County, but we need to know what's going on that affects us all over.
Sure.
And
Well,
I
we
appreciate
love
you.
Robertson County, that's
Well,
for sure.
We love you too, sister. Thank you for joining
All
us.
right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You're
Safe
welcome.
travels. Safe travels.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Love you, friend. We'll see you later. That's Pamela Furr, Americans for Prosperity, my old friend, radio buddy, and just always fun getting a chance to kind of visit with her and catch up. And you got to hear from my sweet friend Omar Hamada this morning too. Just all kinds of interesting things going on around for us. But we appreciate you joining us. Tomorrow, who do we have coming in? Oh, we're going to hear from my friend, the kids from DECA are going to come in. They've got some things going on with the Ronald McDonald House tomorrow. So we've got them coming in. And then on Wednesday, we are going to have the Veteran Service Office coming in. So you're going to want to definitely hear from them. And got a couple of other things we're working on that may come together for tomorrow. But I hope you'll join us right here on 1100 WSGI. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
iPhone and Android, and listen to great gospel music and family-friendly programming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WSGI AM 1100 Springfield, God's Informer.
This is Scotty Inman. You're listening to Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky's new home of great gospel music. 7 days a week. WSGI AM 1100 Springfield, God's Informer.
This is Reggie.